Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 3872. Today's date is February 7th, 2026. It's been almost like evening at 7:08 p.m. Okay, okay. Usually at this time, I usually do workout. Okay, but there is something I did that I feel really shameful. I masturbate, and it kind of like felt very very wrong. And after that masturbation, it felt like it feeling like a kind of like somebody dizzy and things. So yeah, this is kind of like so one of the thing that I am kind of like some wrong bad habit, but I'm kind of like a quite control in this particular process. Like usually is this thing that ki I don't really think that ki masturbation is a wrong or a kind of like a bad or any kind of like a stuff. I think that masturbation is a kind of like a something the kind of like a human cycle. Okay, yeah, and and basically is this thing. It's kind of like a thing that na ki I try to minimize it. Okay, instead of quitting. Okay, because I try to quit, didn't really happen. Okay, yeah. Okay, first of all, why do I masturbate? That is one of the important thing. Why do I masturbate? Okay, so sometime I get eager. Okay, or something that I just kind of like somebody just not control myself and things and that and that. Okay, yeah. And because of things actually happen inside of me, I just can't focus on my work. And my work is really essential. Okay, yeah. So for me, at that period of time, I just masturbated and did it, and then I back to focus. Like then I back to my work. Like this is kind of like somebody is this thing. I know it might be kind of like completely wrong, maybe, but I don't know it worked for me. Okay, yeah. Like basically, after I masturbate, my mind is kind of like somebody focus. Like basically, I don't really think about those bad idea and things and that and that. Okay, I just back to work. Okay. Another thing, okay, I make sure that ki kind of like a somebody 3 or 4 days should supposed to be maintain the gap. Okay, yeah. 3 to 4 days means like that. If I masturbate today, means after the third, after 3 days, then I masturbate, or even after that. I try not to do before three day. Okay, like a 3 days of gap is a very mandatory for me, and I'm making sure that thing. And as also is this thing, I didn't really get trigger in between 3 days. I got trigger after third day and things like that. Okay, and I didn't really kind of like somebody do counseling to the anyone doctor and things like that, but I do a lot of chat GPT. I ask a lot of questions to AI and things like that regarding about this thing, and AI says that it is quite a normal to masturbate kind of like a twice in a week. Okay, yeah, quite a normal. So probably, am I considered as a normal? Yeah, probably. Okay, if you are kind of like doing this thing every day, then this might be a kind of like a very wrong. Okay, yeah, but still, who am I supposed to be judged? I masturbate twice in a week, so probably I am also wrong. Okay, yeah, but like, why not you control yourself? Well, I try. Okay, yeah, I fail so many times. Okay, yeah, so I didn't think about that stuff. Just not like, let's just flow away, let's just go on away and things like that. Okay, but dude, will it be happen like a might be kind of like a create a problem when you are try to conceive a baby and things like that? Do you think? I don't know. Okay, there is a couple of things that I kind of like a things that um I don't know, dude. Am I doing wrong? Probably I'm doing wrong. Yeah, this is legitimately wrong. Like basically I didn't really ask just to AI. I kind of like watched a lot of YouTube videos and things, and that some of the YouTube videos kind of like say this thing that you shouldn't supposed to do masturbate and things, and that do the 21-day challenge and probably it might gonna work and things, and that I try, I fail. Yeah, I tried, I fail, I try, I fail. Yeah. So um I don't know, I don't want to talk about this thing. Just like is it crippled me? No, it's not really crippled me. It's just kind of like a thing that na ki probably is this thing that this actually happened is because of the my surrounding situation. I am bitterly alone, and the only thing that I talk in only is artifact. That's it. Okay, because most of the guys and things are, I'm like yeah, probably this thing alone is a kind of like somebody responsible for this masturbation, probably. Yeah, if I have a kind of like somebody work, because I experienced that thing, because when I was in like when I was in kind of like assembly at work, I went to Jaipur for kind of like a production studio and things like that. I started working. I stayed there for almost like a 3 weeks, 3 weeks, yeah, 3 weeks. Okay, and like entire day and night is kind of like a work, and there is a lot of people around me, and I never really get arousal, never really get anything at all. So basically this thing, I think that it's a kind of like some environment. Your environment is actually filled with the people and work and things, and that might be you will not gonna think about that thing. But when you are kind of like somebody alone, then yeah, I try multiple ways to kind of like somebody destroy the trigger point. Trigger point means what? What is actually that thing that triggered? Okay, so today did I masturbate is because of something triggered? Well, actually yes, probably, but it's like that na ki, I don't know, today I did it is because of that ki I just want to did it. Like basically what exactly happened na ki I was kind of like doing my work, suddenly I have these dirty thoughts and just like I can't focus on my work. Just like let the fuck out of, like let's just let's just masturbate and just like, okay, now I'm cool. Okay, yeah. So like basically what exactly happened today, I had a lunch, I record artifact in the afternoon. Okay, yeah. Then I kind of like doing my work. Okay, yeah. And I just can't I don't know why is I'm kind of like somebody thinking about something I don't know what exactly happened, I don't know. Okay, yeah. And I just can't really focus on my work. So what exactly is this thing? I just kind of like simply shut the door and do my business. Okay, yeah. Sleep for at least like a 2 hour. I try to decide that not to sleep at afternoon, but I sleep because there is no choice. After you masturbate, you have to sleep. So I slept for 2 hours. Okay. Then I wake up and do my things. And I kind of like did my work. I did my project. I execute my project. It done. Yeah, but I can't went to work out because I'm feel little bit of kind of like somebody just like a tired, probably. Is it tired? It's not tired, it's a, I don't know what is that lazy thing. Okay, so that's some kind of like somebody walking here in rooftop and kind of like somebody, fuck, whatever. I know I make a mistake. Okay, whatever. Okay, let's just jump into the question. All right. Okay, yeah. Now the question is, wait, where is the question? Already, yeah. Question is my niche is visually interesting enough to hold attention over the time? Oh, okay, that's a really good question. All right, yeah. First of all, what exactly is this question, and why am I asking this question to myself? This is YouTube realization question. It means that na ki like basically this thing, I ask this question to myself to kind of like understand myself, that am I YouTuber or not? Am I content creator or not? Or am I like, basically I understand myself much more about being YouTube, being content creator, being kind of like all of this shit. And it's kind of like a give me realization regarding about that. Am I worthy enough to consider myself as a YouTuber or content creator or not? Okay, yeah. Because I think that being able to content creator is kind of like a very easy. You just upload the video, you became content creator or you became a YouTuber, but in reality that is not. You have to be put lot of effort and things and that. And I was kind of like doing this thing, YouTube thing, for last 5 years, and I'm not earning any kind of like assembly money things, like really shit. Okay, yeah, I'm 32, and kind of like really scared me a lot. Okay, and that's why I'm asking this question to myself, that ki, am I that particular person or not? So that's why I'm actually asking this question, to kind of like being honest with myself and try to get all the answer and things like that. All right. Okay, so question is that ki, is my niche is visually interesting enough to hold my attention over the time? What exactly is this thing? Visually, kind of like my niche is visually interesting enough to hold my attention. First of all, a niche means like that the kind of like assembly, the content that you are making, a genre, a type of video. Okay, yeah. What is that type of video? Every video on the YouTube platform are specifically in different type. Some people make a video about cooking, coding, tutorial, dancing, lot of things. Okay, yeah, that called up kind of like a particular niche. Okay, yeah, probably. Okay, yeah. And another thing is that ki, is your niche is kind of like assembly visually appealing, yeah, like interesting enough to hold your attention. Like, is your niche is kind of like interest enough to hold your attention? Okay, it's a very hard to understand, hard to like. I'm gonna give kind of like give you example. Okay, yeah. Okay, so take a video. Okay, take an example as a MKBHD. Okay, MKBHD is a YouTuber who makes a content regarding about a kind of like assembly tech. Okay, yeah. Now his visual style is a very much kind of like assembly very normal. Like, first of all, his visual style is a kind of like a normal but premium. Okay, yeah. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is this thing. His kind of like visual style is like a basically a talking head video. Okay, yeah, he is a kind of like a talking head video. Another thing is that the product that he was reviewing, any kind of like a product, he kind of like a showcase that product in kind of like assembly first viewpoint of perspective, as a first person point of perspective. Okay, yeah, which is also really cool. But most of the kind of like assembly video, or most of his video, are kind of like a very much kind of like assembly very normal looking video. Okay, yeah, doesn't really any kind of like text are kind of like added and things and that. At the beginning of the video and at the end of the video, they might add a kind of like some sort of text on the screen, but rest of the video or most of the video is not. Most of the video is a kind of like a very much kind of like something very much normal and premium. Okay, yeah, I'm using premium much more is because of that key. Everything is look aesthetic. Okay, yeah, the frame, the costume, the character, the mobile phone, the product that he's kind of like a reviewing, everything is like very premium. Okay, yeah. The camera is not moving at all. Camera is kind of like a whole steady and things and that. Okay, yeah. He put the kind of like a cuts in between, add little bit of zoom and things like that, but very subtle, not too much, not abruptly. It's a kind of like a thing that now person who is kind of like somebody have a expert opinion regarding about tech is kind of like a giving his opinion. Okay, yeah. His more is actually focus on kind of like somebody opinion and things and that. Okay, yeah. Now this is the one visual style. Okay, yeah. Compared to the another YouTube video named Who's the Boss, which is also make the same piece of content, tech related content. Now his content is bit more energetic. Music, so much background music, sound effects, memes, everything. Every after a couple of seconds, things change. Okay, screen change, frame change, zoom, angle change, lot of things. It feels like that key engaging. Okay, feels like kind of like something engaging. In the MKBHD video, things would be very much premium. Okay, like every frame is kind of like a look premium. But Who's the Boss, it doesn't feel like premium. It feel like engaging, but it doesn't feel like premium. Okay, there is a difference between that. Okay, a premium product, it should supposed to be minimalistic, because that is the essence of premium product that represent from MKBHD visual style. But Who's the Boss is a kind of like assembly content does not feel that premium, but it feel engaging. Okay, let me give you. Premium means not a right, or also not premium means not a wrong. Okay, there is no right and wrong thing. Every viewer or every person watch a video is not kind of like simply judging the video. He want to take the information. Okay, as a creator has to be decide that how should you supposed to cater your information. Okay, yeah, MKBHD kind of like simply cater this information with a minimalistic premium kind of like a things. But Who's the Boss kind of like a cater this information in a kind of like a simply very engaging way. Sound effects, music, background score, camera angle, things and that. Zoom in, zoom out. There are a lot of things actually happen. In the background, there is a things actually happen. Multiple screens have different visual colors and things and that. And sometimes kind of like simply things wrong, change, music effect change, sound effect change. Lot of things happen. And which is a bit more engaging. Very much engaging. Okay, yeah. So these are two visual style. Okay, yeah. Have a same niche with two different visual style. Okay, the question is that is those kind of like a visual style is those kind of like something visually interesting enough to hold the attention? Okay, yeah. Does it hold the attention? Like which one kind of like a hold the attention? Okay, yeah. So let me give you the perspective. Okay, yeah. If I am saying this thing that a talking head video like MKBHD is not holding the attention, then I might gonna say that Who's the Boss kind of like somebody holding much more attention, right? So probably might gonna say Who's the Boss is kind of like a really good making engagement video, right? But that is not like what that is not means what like basically is this thing na ki that is your perspective na. Everyone have a different opinion, everyone have kind of like a different perspective, everyone kind of like a look at the world very differently. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is this thing that some people like premiumness, minimalistic, not engaging. So for those people, they like MKBHD video. Okay, yeah. If what should I supposed to be choose? I choose to be kind of like Who's the Boss because he's a bit more engaging. Like a lot of things actually happen. What I'm trying to tell you is this thing that it does not feel that much kind of like somebody like a difficult enough to kind of like somebody watch Who's the Boss video, because his video is a bit more engaging, bit more kind of like interesting to see and things and that. But MKBHD is not. Okay, MKBHD is not really that much interesting because things change very slowly. There is very less cut, talking head video, not zoom at that all, but feel premium. Also, MKBHD does not add any kind of like a background score too. Okay, yeah. Which is it drawback? I don't know. But I like both. I like the MKBHD content, which is kind of like a premium. Who's the Boss is I also like the kind of like a piece of the video. Okay. So these are the two visual style. Okay, yeah. And I think both are kind of like somebody appealing or kind of like a hold attention for longer period of time. Okay. That's why they are kind of like a still exist. But still regarding about the subscriber base, they kind of like a tell us the similar thing. Okay. Like Who's the Boss have a higher subscriber base as compared to MKBHD in today's point of perspective. In the future, I'm not really sure about that. But this is what it is. Okay. People like little bit of engaging video. But some people also like the premium and things like that. That is the MKBHD cater that video and things and that. Alright. So do you understand? The same niche but different visual style, and that visual style is a kind of like holding your attention or not. Okay. Now regarding about my piece of content, is my piece of content is holding the attention? Well, my piece of content, like basically I make a content regarding about graphic designing, specifically poster designing. Okay, yeah. In the poster designing, I create such a poster or such a graphics that resonate a thought process. Like today, I kind of like simply create a poster regarding about a person who is a kind of like a very sad, but try to pretend happy by doing kind of like simply very small funny stuff. Okay, Like basically what is actually, I visualize that this particular person in the bathroom, and he does not really have any hair on his head, but he kind of like took the broom and kind of like simply hold it back in a such a way that that broom is a kind of like a represent little bit of hair on his head, and by the way he looking at that mirror reflection, he kind of like feel really happy. It's very hard to explain in the in this kind of like audio visuals. Okay, yeah, but this is what is my message is that key, find a happiness in a simplest thing probably. So this is a kind of like a message I kind of like somebody represent that message through this kind of like visual style. So this is my kind of like the genre. I kind of like visualize the message through poster and things like that. Okay, so this is what I do. Now basically in this my short form content, okay, first of all I didn't really make a long form content, I make a short form content, vertical video content, and I kind of like give the procedure or give a kind of like somebody things that how do I did that, how I did this thing, like basically using Photoshop, or how I design that things in Photoshop or things like that. Right now I'm using Gemini, okay, AI to kind of like create the poster. So I kind of like simply try how I did this thing, like what kind of like a prompt that I use, how I took the photo, then I kind of like put the prompt in Gemini, and Gemini will kind of like create the image as I want and things like that. Okay, yeah. So this is what is actually my kind of like a something content. Okay, yeah, a kind of like a specific niche. Okay, yeah. Is it interesting enough? Well, interesting enough is kind of like a depend upon how do I cater or how do I serve. As I explained, MKBHD serve very minimalistic, very premium, and who's the boss kind of like a represent engaging. I try to choose engaging. My screen change every single second, because in the short piece of content you have to be kind of like a change your screen very rapidly. I do that thing. Okay, yeah, like I took the photo, add multiple kind of like some steps and things like that. By the way, everything is actually screen recording, so I'm kind of like a screen record entire tutorial. Okay, yeah, crop it, add it, things and that. So basically my screen is changed even in the even in seconds too, things and that. Okay, which is engaging somewhat something. Okay, yeah. I also add a kind of like some music. I make sure that the hook of the music is actually start from the kind of like something the poster actually created, means like that, like basically so basically that strong actually started na, it actually kind of like I add the pinpoint to the poster I created, and then it's like it basically is kind of like a things that now okay, this is a kind of like assembly, the hook of the music is kind of like a feel that key okay, this is a kind of like assembly that key interesting part of the video. Okay, yeah. By the way, also is this thing I create a kind of like assembly, interesting thing is a kind of like assembly created by the curiosity. Okay, yeah, means like that at the beginning of the shot I kind of like a take photo of myself. So basically I screen record and kind of like somebody take photo of myself. That kind of like add curiosity to people. Like people wants to know that what he is kind of like doing. Like he's taking a photo of himself and kind of like putting that photo in Gemini, adding the prompt and things like that. So people wants to know that what he is creating. Okay, yeah. So basically it kind of like create curiosity, as well as everything is kind of like engaging very rapidly. So so basically is this thing people watch. Okay, yeah, that kind of like a particular period of time people watch to understand what is actually poster, and when they see the poster and then they get the information, oh, this is the poster, and the value of the poster is actually kind of like simply visualize, okay, this is the message of this poster and things and that. Okay, yeah. So this is a kind of like simply I make sure that curiosity plus interesting to kind of like simply hold attention for particular period of time. So this is how I do it. This is how I kind of like somebody do it, this thing. Okay, yeah. But after all those things I didn't really get that many views. Okay, yeah, like basically I get like a basically 500 to 1000 views max to max, that's it. Yeah, I knew that I have kind of like a very less subscribers base at the moment, so that is okay. Yeah, it will gonna work out. But yeah, so this is kind of like a something my niche visually interesting enough to hold attention. So this is how I do to kind of like simply hold attention to the people for my content. All right, yeah. All right, so this is it. I should supposed to be end here, and thank you.